to One More Thing. I'm Pastor Brett Watson. I'm here with Dr. Troy Doucet to talk about rumors.
Rumors.
So what kind of rumors you got for me? I'm just kidding. So I wanted to kind of zero in on this statement. A vision is just a rumor that hasn't become a reality. It becomes reality when you get on mission. Mm-hmm. So this is obviously, well, maybe it isn't so obvious to some, right? Because it's not, you address this more directly right before that statement. But this is about the difference between faith and faithfulness.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, in church life, you and I've been in the church world for most of our life, and we always hear about vision, mission statements. And so I just took that up as sort of this concept to run with the difference between faith and faithfulness. And so when we talk about vision, it's like this forethought, right? This sort of foregrounding of imagination of something that we would like to see happen. Whether that's a vision for a new church like Dr. Bauckham had for Suncoast, or whether that's a vision of a single person, a vision that they have of the kind of person that they want to marry, or if it's a vision for the type of life that you want to have for yourself. So that's easy to do. It's just built into our imagination. We're very hopeful people. We're very, people who project into the future things that we hope for. But the idea was a vision is just a rumor. Like, you've heard rumors of, man, if you get married and have kids, it's a great life. Like, yes, absolutely it is. You've heard rumors if you're successful in business, you can have a great life. So that's why I use this. To have a vision of something is really just a rumor that you've accepted as anecdotal evidence. And that's a great vision, but until you get to work on the mission, it's still just going to be a rumor that hasn't sort of fleshed itself out in reality. And so the idea there is, with faith is this sort of idea, this idea of belief in this thing that can potentially have significant impact in your life. I believe if I follow Jesus, these things will flesh themselves out in my life. That's great, but that's still very abstract, theoretical, intellectual.
Passive.
Very passive. I've intellectually ascended to believe and accept this as true. Faithfulness is the embodying of that embrace. So I've embraced this truth, but now it's time to embody it. It's time to get to work. It's time to actually do the things that Jesus said to do, not just believe the things he said. And that is when, how we say, just, very cliche, where the rubber meets the road, is when you start to enact and embody, transformation begins to happen. And this is what we, preach all the time. Your transformation requires your participation.
Yeah.
Transformation also needs your imagination. Like, what does this transformation look like? Man, maybe I'm not as whatever. Maybe I'm more peaceful. Maybe I'm, less addicted to some sort of vice or whatever. But once you participate in that, you actually start this introspection, contemplation, making that volitional self-will when someone cuts you off in traffic. When you feel that tinge of anger, you're like, no, it's over. Like 2 seconds of my life, wow, I forgave that person, or I let that person in.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
it does.
It's not hard work, but it is work.
It's not always hard work, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Transformation is hard over the long haul. The change process can be hard, but I get what you mean. The thing that this brings to mind, man, is the almost insidious nature of one of the cornerstones of Protestant theology, and that is faith alone. by grace alone.
Yep.
The grace alone part, that's fine. It all has to be grace.
Yeah.
Right? Or else there would be nothing. There would be no change. There wouldn't even be creation in a sense, But and certainly not redemption. But here's the thing. The New Testament does not emphasize faith alone. Now, there's a reason, and I don't mean to be demeaning about Protestantism. I come from that tradition.
Right.
Okay, I started in a Lutheran church.
Right.
So I have great respect for what the Reformers were trying to do, and I understand the history behind it. The context there mattered, and why they went so far in that direction. And it's not that it isn't all by grace alone. You do, and it's true that Paul says in Ephesians that in faith is not of yourselves, but it is the gift of God, right? I get all that. And all of that I absolutely believe is true. But here's the thing. Your salvation, this is what gets missed, I think. Your salvation is so much more than an intellectual assent. Your salvation, I hate to even use that word, because soteriology is about more than just a decision, right? It is about your transformation, which is also something that we say a lot around here. And transformation requires your participation.
Yep.
And that gets de-emphasized. And that's why I say it's almost insidious the way it works. And maybe it's just flat out insidious.
Well, I think to respond to that, right? I think you're hitting it. But here's what Protestantism rejects in its acceptance of such bad theology. They're so harsh against this works-driven idea. Good
That's
works,
the
not good
context
works.
I'm
And I go,
referring to,
well, I get it, right? Your salvation is not based upon, I let this person cut me off in traffic. I didn't curse this guy out, or I gave money to the church. Even that's too simplistic.
Yeah.
You know what else is good work? Self-reflection is good work. Self-reflection, like when I make a mistake and I reflect about it. My mistake is not good work, but it can transform me into working good, right?
Yes.
And that's the thing is good works are not always just ethical or moral behaviors we witness. And I think that's what Protestantism was trying to push back on, was people think they're saved because they're good people. No, that's erroneous to think that. The good works are these things that are internal to me, right? These are the things that are internal to me.
And it comes out of that internal relationship
That's
that
absolutely
you inevitably have with your Creator.
That's it. I'm awakening daily to the depth of the truth of who I actually am. My identification. So there's all sort of rhetorical ways we can play with that word transformation. But part of the transformation is your identification, is living into that which you have always already been. And when we miss the mark, what are we missing the mark on? Protestantism says you missed the mark on behavior. No, bro, you've missed the mark on identity. That's the mark. That's the sin. That's the greatest sin you have, is you have missed the mark on who you truly are.
Yeah, that's right on.
And so
you missed the mark on identity.
That's it.
That's worth remembering, guys.
You haven't missed the mark on behavior. That's what Protestantism wants to say. Sin is behavioral modification, whereas we go, no. Transformation is all about identification. And you go back to Genesis. Adam, where are you? Like, of course God knows where Adam is.
Yeah.
But the rhetorical play there is absolutely brilliant by whoever wrote that.
It is.
It is not location, but identification. We say this in just our nomenclature every day. Who are you? Like when people act out of character.
That's right.
Who the heck are you?
Yep. As
Who
though
do you think you are?
we have some kind of unseen connection where we know.
Yeah,
the
I know
real
your
you.
mom. I know your mom probably told you that. My mom's told me that. Who the hell you think you are?
That's right. Well, Jesus said it. He said, "Away from me, you workers of iniquity, for I never knew you."
That's right.
You're out of touch with your true identity.
That's exactly it.
Is what he's saying.
When he depart, I never knew you. And Protestantism takes that and says, see, no, you've misinterpreted exactly what Jesus is. It's
Otherwise, Paul wouldn't say things like he did to the, I think it was in Corinthians, where he says, be unleavened bread, which is what you really are.
that's exactly.
Live into what you are.
That's right. That's all transformation is. The transforming has very little to do with modifying my behavior. My behavior gets modified as my identity gets clear. That's absolutely the truth, man. Because Protestantism lives in this fear-mongering business, and I get it. Because there is this fear that if we don't hold on to these sort of doctrinal positions on behavior modification, and people are just going to feel this license to live, licentiously. No. Dude, when I deconstructed and realized I was loved, I was accepted, I did not have to live in fear of going to a place of eternal conscious torment. That didn't make me go, oh man, now I can just go and do as many drugs as I want. I can go have sex with as many people as I want, or, drink as much alcohol as I want and just live this carefree. No, what it did was it caused this awakening to that identity is sacred. There's a sacredity to my identity.
I want to reconnect with that.
That's what I want to connect. This lost its luster in the wake of me finding myself.
Yeah.
And so that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. That's great stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
It's
Love
awesome.
you.
Love you, bro. Thanks.
Thanks.